Hubbles cat, it's Thursday fun. The fun is, it's not Thursday. Anywho, there's been an outbreak of dog abuse.
So, there's a chipmunk in that pipe. That's what all the fuss is about. And the chipmunk gets to live another day. Lucky, lucky chipmunk.
I'm going to eat a bag of chips and make my dog watch.
Also just a girl. Standing in front of a boy. Asking, come on.
Meanwhile, in the great ex-colony of Australia, Aussie Survival has been torturing his friends and using a banana and a twig as a self-defense weapon.
Who are you? What do you want? Hungry, I'm hungry. You're not going to have this, I'm not going to let you have that. We're going to eat. We're going to eat. I want something to eat. Didn't you have food before? No. 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 Can't have this. No. No. Wait. No. 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 We're going to eat. You're going to eat. Go away. Go away. Go away. No, you can't have this. It's the only one I've got left. No. No. What would that be? Ah. Oh, I guess that's the end. I'll have to go then. This metal stuff. I'm going to put on one of these there. You want the banana? Look like a banana. That was so pretty.
And that, folks, is how to use a banana and a little twig as self-defense methods. Seriously, Aussie's a great channel. Check him out. They just couldn't cope with the fun of what they were doing, and there was a serious point to it. It's part of a series on self-defense, so watch it. Now, this would be an example of child abuse, except this is just normal parenting in Ontario. When your daughter wants to go and play with her friends, what you do is you say no, and you make her film you collecting bees. But did she have a bee suit on? I don't know. Watch this and be amazed.
I almost walked my head into it, but there's a swarm. Hopefully it's not one of mine. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that over to a box. I talked my lovely favoriteest camera woman into holding the camera for us. So, safety first, because I don't like getting my hands stung. And I don't know where these bees come from originally. If they are one of my hives that just decided to go for a little walkabout. Because as I say, I've been messed up. It's probably the best I've felt, and I still probably shouldn't be doing this. But, so what we're going to do, we happen to buy a pair of snips today, by sheer dumb luck. And I've got a box to set them down in. So, hopefully we can do this without disturbing them too much. We're just gonna trim ever so gently. Oh, we lost a couple there. That would be just fine. So, we're just gonna grab the branch. We're gonna walk them right over to a box I got sitting over here. Come on, Ash. Come on, Ash.
There's just a lot of bees.
There's the hive. What I'm going to do is just take this whole branch and set it right inside.
Gently.
Gently. I'm just going to put a lid on it for now. Let them calm down a little bit. Because Ashley has her friend over and she wants to get back to playing with her friend. I can't blame her.
As Ashley said, that was a lot of bees, and be gentle. Anyway, I don't think any children were actually put at risk in that video, but it just amused me. Meanwhile, in the great province of British Columbia, Creative Redundancies decided to start a new trend. We're all going to start dancing at the beginning of our videos.
Here are items or gear to consider bringing along with additional tips. As things may happen, and with these suggestions, you can make the experience the best it can be, because you all like to have a great time out, right?
And now a short sanity break before we get into the Democrats. Yes, California's merman Adrian has been practicing, and he's got himself to the point where he's developed his muscular abilities to the point where he can actually jump feet first out of the pool. Cool, Adrian, cool. And I really do think you should run for president in 2020. Following a decades-long trend, the Democratic Party in the United States are doing their absolute best to make sure that Bernie Sanders doesn't get elected, because after all, mainstream media and most of the Democrats are multimillionaires and they really don't want to pay extra tax above $10 million earnings. I don't really see what's particularly wrong with that. If I earned $11 million a year, I'd be quite happy to lose 70% of the last million. But some people are so greedy, they don't want to do that. Anyway, there's a bunch of lies in both of the debates, but we'll start off with an obvious way that they crushed progressive voices in the debate. Yep. Yang.
We expose him for the fraud that he is.
I disagree with both their perspectives. I disagree with both their perspectives.
Yeah, way to go, NBC. Yes, his mic was off for almost the entire debate. And I think they asked him 2 questions, and one was on China. I wonder why. Seems to be an outbreak of racism. Anyway, before we get into the outbreak of racism, I think we should look at Joe Biden's climate change record and how he treats little girls.
So I want to show you the environment is very important because it's all going to end in about... yeah, Ron Placone says we're doing enough on climate change, Charlie. I mean, come on, you can't expect the 5th largest economy in the world to figure out a high-speed rail across the state or anything like that. I bet you want a unicorn too. And they asked Joe Biden if he would be a leader on climate change. Watch this, watch what he says.
My name is Samira. I'm part of the U.S. Youth Climate Strike, an organization. On March 15th, we organized a bunch of strikes across the nation, and now we have a petition to ask all the presidential candidates to support a forum where we're talking about the climate policy And can you commit to be a non-stop leader and support
By the way, I was, just so you know, I'm the guy that did all this stuff. Read Real Clear Politics. I'll tell you about how I started this whole thing back in '87 with climate change.
And he says, go check out Real Clear Politics. So I did, and guess what it says? Biden is stuck in the past when it comes to climate change. I even checked out Time Magazine. It says Greenpeace gives Joe Biden a D-.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision.
So that's where the federal government must step in. That's why we have the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. In this campaign, we have also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly.
In terms of busing, the busing, you would have been able to go to school the same exact way because it was a local decision made by your city council. That's fine. That's one of the things I argued for, that we should be breaking down these lines. But so the bottom line here is, look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No,
do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well, there was a failure of states to integrate public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision.
So that's where the federal government must step in. That's why we have the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA, because there are moments in history where states fail to preserve the civil rights of all people.
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds, velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Supported the ERA from the very beginning when I ran for the Biden,
30 seconds, because I want to bring other people into this.
I supported the ERA from the very beginning. I'm the guy that extended the Voting Rights Act for 25 years. We got to the place where we got 98 out of 98 votes in the United States Senate doing it. I've also argued very strongly that we, in fact, deal with the notion of denying people access to the ballot box. I agree that everybody, once they, in fact, they should, anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry.
Well, that's from me. Careful who you vote for. Check out the policies. Kamala Harris has been lying all the way through the debates, and she stopped body cameras on police, and she just keeps lying, and a lot of them are lying. So if you're going to vote, vote for people you've actually checked out a bit, and don't rely on media, and don't rely on YouTube. Anyway, that's it from me. Remember, other than the DNC, all of these clips are great, and they've been edited for fun. All great channels. So that's it from me. So remember, have a little dance, because Creepy Joe, go bye-bye. Toodles.